Our Wendy's male high school athlete of the week is sophomore quarterback Max Huston from the Seaman Vikings. Seaman 4-1 on the season, heading into a big matchup with Basel Linwood this weekend. And Max is coming off a massive performance against Leavenworth and UKC action this past week. 287 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, and 3 rushing touchdowns in a big win as well. Max, first things first, what was working for you so well in that matchup with Leavenworth this past Friday night?
Well, so we started off by establishing the run game. So once the run game was established, then we could start making the reads and seeing what the defense was doing, and then the passing game started coming on, and then it just started working.
That running game is such a vital part of your guys' offense at Seaman, and you've got so many
Yeah.
talented running backs behind you with Bryson Vaughter and Jackson Thomas and Jack Bloom. But for you, who have also been so effective on the ground this year, is that something that comes naturally to you as a quarterback? Are you comfortable running the ball, or is that something that you've sort of developed more comfortability with over time?
Yeah, no. So I used to be in 8th and 7th grade. I was like a running back. And then I went to ninth grade, obviously. Then I switched to quarterback. So it was just kind of there. So it just comes naturally, I guess.
How natural was that transition then to go from running back to quarterback? Because obviously the running part of it then that makes perfect sense why it fits so well with you. How natural was it to then all of a sudden become the signal caller and to be throwing the ball all over the yard?
Yeah, so I had to do I was doing a whole bunch of camps. I was going to a whole bunch of workouts. I was just training so I could get the starting job.
We're talking to Max Huston. He is our Wendy's male high school athlete of the week, the sophomore starting quarterback for the 4-1 Seaman Vikings, coming off a huge win over Leavenworth this past Friday. And I wanted to ask you, Max, about getting that starting job for Seaman. It's been a job that has been held by veterans, juniors, and seniors for a long time for your program now. But stepping in as a sophomore, did you feel right off the rip back in week 1 right away like, yes, this is natural, this is comfortable, I'm ready for this? Or was there sort of an acclimation period to start the year?
Yeah, I feel like it was pretty easy, and just I had to work obviously for it, but I mean, we had a whole bunch of good quarterbacks in the quarterback room, and we all battled for the spot, and I just came out with the job.
What would you say is the area where you have improved the most, or maybe just worked on the most in your game since last season? Because you came on for a few plays last season, mostly in mop-up time for Seaman. This year, though, taking over, what do you think over the offseason you did the most to work on to improve your game to eventually earn this starting job?
I would definitely say making the reads as the starting quarterback. Like when I would come in last season, it would just be hand off, hand off, hand off. But this season, I'm I got to make the reads, I got to make the calls. So I would definitely say the mental part of the game is where I had to put in most of my work at.
I wanted to ask you about the group that's around you offensively this year. You've got a lot of veteran experience on this team. We mentioned those running backs earlier, especially up front as well. You guys have such a talented offensive line. What is the locker room like for your group this year? And have you kind of taken over more of a leadership role, or are you more of a vocal leader, a lead by example kind of guy? How have you stepped into that role here as your first season as a starter?
Yeah, I would definitely say I'm a leader, but the seniors they do a pretty good job of getting everybody they get everybody ready, hyped up for the game. But I step in there a couple times, and I lead up the team.
We're talking to Max Huston. He is our Wendy's male high school athlete of the week, the starting sophomore quarterback for the Seaman Vikings. And overall, Max, throughout this season, I mentioned you guys are now 4-1 coming off a big league win, and you've got another huge game coming up this Friday night against Basel Linwood. How would you assess the way that your group has played over the course of this season? Just that one loss to Shawnee Heights earlier in the year, 4 wins outside of that. How would you sort of grade the way you guys have played so far this year?
I would say we've played pretty well. I mean, obviously there's still work to be done, but I mean, I'd say we're playing pretty good. The end goal, obviously, make state championship and win it. So I mean, until we're there, I don't think we're done working.
And with that, that's what I'll get you out of here with. Looking ahead to the rest of this season, obviously 2 more games to go in the regular season. Bracket play will start in week 9, 3 weeks away. And you mentioned the state championship. That's obviously the ultimate goal. What do you think it's going to take for you personally to lead the group there and for your whole team at Seaman to make that leap? You were on the varsity roster last year. You've got that postseason experience. What's it going to take to get over the hump and get to that next level for you and the program?
I think we're just going to have the whole team clicking. I think if everybody's like just working and like wanting to get to that point, then I think nothing could stop us. That's all we got to do. Just keep working.
Well, Max Huston could not be stopped versus Leavenworth this past Friday night. 6 total touchdowns, 287 yards through the air, another 68 on the ground. The sophomore starting quarterback for the Vikes is our Wendy's High School Athlete of the Week. Max, thank you so much for taking the time for us today. We really appreciate it. Best of luck this Friday and the rest of the season for you and the rest of the Vikings.
All right. Thank you, Brandon.